Hi mom, do you know how to become a software engineer? No? In this video, I will talk about how to become a software engineer without needing a computer science degree. This video is for people who have zero knowledge about software development. And after watching this video, you will be able to become a software developer in 6 months without needing a computer science degree, and you don't have to spend money on boot camps or college, and you will become a self-taught software engineer. If you're first time on this channel, I am Sajeel, and on this channel I create videos about software development. And if you are new here, you should consider subscribing this channel to watch more videos about software engineering. You will become a software engineer in 6 steps. And the first step is to have a clear decision. If you have a clear decision, you can become a software engineer. If you don't have a clear decision about becoming a software engineer, you can't be a software engineer. But if you really want to become a software engineer, then you should have a clear decision about becoming a software engineer. For example, me. When I started to become a software engineer, when I started programming, I didn't have a clear decision about becoming that. So whenever I started coding, I found myself doing something else, playing games or checking social media. Or when I started writing algorithms on a paper, I found myself drawing paintings of cars and animals or whatever else. But when I created a clear decision in my mind, I became a software developer in 6 months. So how do you know if you have a clear decision? Ask yourself 2 questions. If you can answer those questions, your decision is clear like a crystal. But if you can't answer those questions, your decision isn't yet clear. The questions are, why do you want to become a software engineer? The answer can be to make money, to create fun software, to solve your problems, to solve your dad's business problems. It can be any answer. There can be many answers of this question. And what do you want to do as a software engineer? You want to create games, you want to create softwares, you want to create whatever you want. There can be many answers. If you can answer those questions, your decision is clear. The second step to become a software engineer is to select a language. This is often most difficult part of becoming a software engineer, because selecting a language is very difficult. There are so many languages throughout the world. You can learn any language you want, but selecting a language is very difficult. There are some coding languages used to create software, develop softwares. I'm talking about those languages. Selecting a language depends on your field. It totally depends on your field. What field are you in? For example, if you want to get into data science, you learn Python, not Java. But if you want to develop Android apps and games, you learn Java, not Python. But it's still difficult because there can be many languages in one field. For example, you will create Android with Java and Kotlin. So it's still difficult to select a language. And don't just select a language based on its name because you like its name, as I selected Ruby language when I started programming. I selected Ruby language because I liked the name Ruby. But when I was learning Ruby, I found out that it don't have a good scope in software development world. So I immediately switched to Python, which was a good language, had good scope, can get me a job, can get me into data science or other fields I want. And these days I'm learning Python and working in Python. If you cannot select a good language for your field, then comment down below and tell me about yourself. What do you want to do and why do you want to do? And I will suggest you a good language for that purpose. And I have a video in my channel. I'll put a card here or link in the description below where I tell you the top 5 programming languages of 2020. So it will be easier for you to select a language. Whatever language you want to select, keep in mind its popularity, its scope, whether it is beginner friendly or not. Step number 3 in software development way is to learn that selected language. Whatever language you selected, you now have to learn the language. While learning that language, keep in mind an important thing, that don't focus on the syntax of the language. Focus on the fundamentals of the language, because all languages have same fundamentals. The loop constructs, the selection structure, and data structures, algorithms, all languages have same. So don't focus on the syntax. If Python is using print to display something on the screen, but C++ is using cout. So syntax differ, but the fundamentals are same. Focus on the fundamentals and don't focus on the syntax. Learning programming through internet is not that difficult. There are many resources available throughout the internet to learn any language. So learning a programming language is not that difficult today. For example, I learned Python through Free Code Camp YouTube channel and Firebase.com, Coursera.org. And if you type any name of the language on the YouTube, you'll find thousands of tutorials on YouTube. So step number 4 in software development way is to practice. Practice makes a man perfect. Learning a programming language can be difficult if you don't practice. But if you practice coding, you can learn a language very quickly. It depends on the language how much time it will take. For example, C language can be learned in 1 to 2 months, and C++ can be learned in 2 to 3 months, and Python can be learned in 6 months or a year. But learning a language can be made quicker by doing practice even more. There are many compilers and interpreters are available on the internet. You can download them for different languages, or some compilers can be used for every language. You can use them and practice daily. Different compilers are available for Windows, Mac, Linux, or even Android and iOS. One important thing I want to tell you is to learn through your mistakes. The compiler you will use will tell you the errors and bugs in your programs you have in the code. It will tell you the errors and you'll learn through those mistakes so that you won't make those mistakes later. Learning through your mistakes will make your path easier and make you get a good job. Step number 5 is to keep an eye on what others are doing. It is often found helpful to know what others are doing. If you know what type of software they are creating and what mistakes they are doing. If you are limited to your mistakes and your learning strategy, then you will not learn that quickly. If you want to learn quickly, then you should keep an eye on others' programs, what they are doing, what type of softwares they are creating. Your ideas will become creative and innovative. The website greatest of all for knowing what others are doing is GitHub. On GitHub, people post their programs and codes, and other people see and follow them. If you have some projects, you'll create some projects, then you'll post on GitHub, and people will follow you and see what you are doing. By knowing what others are doing, you will learn more faster. You have many options for doing that. GitHub, Stack Overflow, Quora, Medium, Reddit, SoloLearn. And if you are a social media bug, you can join Facebook groups, you can interact with Instagram people who are programmers. You have many options. If you have some questions about your programming career, how to code and whatever, you can ask on Stack Overflow. That's the greatest website for asking questions about programming. You can ask me on this channel. The 6th step, the last step of creating softwares, is to create some side projects. Start with the smaller projects. As you're a beginner, you will start from small projects, small softwares, small games, little games. And after you become an expert programmer, you will create big softwares and big games. One day you'll become a great software engineer like Gates or Zuck, and you will own a company like Tesla or Microsoft or Google or something like that. And spend some time developing fun projects. Do fun with software. Software is really fun. Spend some time creating software that can solve your real life problems. Solve the problems your dad has in his business. Solve the problems you have in your studies. Solve some real life problems. This will make you get more interested in programming. Software development is really interesting, and focus on my talk now. Now 6 months are spent, you learn software development through these 6 steps. You don't have a computer science degree, you didn't go to boot camps or college to learn programming. You learned programming self-taught. Now you can get a job. If you aim to get a job, you can now get a job because the HR doesn't need your computer science degree. Your skills and side projects are enough to ensure HR that you are good to be employed. More than 40% of the employees of Google don't have a computer science degree. They employ those people just depending upon their skills. I don't know about other fields, but in software development, skills matter the most. Degrees don't matter. It is better to have a degree, but not necessary to have a degree. After following these 6 steps, you'll become a software developer. If you want to get a job, you can get a job, you can freelance, you can create software on your own and publish them or sell them. Just keep in mind that you have the same brain the others have. If others can do, you can also create softwares. It's not that difficult. By keeping this in mind, I know you will do something bigger in the future. If you still have any doubt or question, or if you have any suggestion, comment down below, and if this video was helpful for you, as I hope it is, then give it a like and subscribe, and best of luck for your software engineering career.